Sorry about that. My other phone just decided to quit streaming, so I switched to my backup. So anyway, what I have here is my cappuccino all mixed up. Now I'm going to go back. I put that kettle of water back on a bit hot, so now I'm going to get that for my instant potatoes. Oops, sorry about that. I'm going to have to pour with my left hand so you can I'm going to just start with that amount. Russian instant potatoes always have some extra stuff and not potatoes. Looks like I'm going to add a little bit more water. I'm going to go ahead and set these back here so I can open everything else. So there will be two parts to this stream basically because I completely switched devices. Now I'm going to go ahead and mix my apple drink. I'm using the full packet, but not the full 500 mils of water because I want this a little bit stronger. And plus, I just like drinking out of this drinking jar now that I got one to replace the one that I broke last year. I'm doing that. I'm going to pull these other items forward. That I will open up. I'm going to set my cappuccino back there. So I'll probably end up mixing that again. But I'll go ahead and put the rest of this water in here. Well, nearly, but I'm going to go ahead and put this back here. And my cheese is in the kitchen. I got that by the stove, actually, instead of the lid on my pot is slide, and it would slide off. Plus, it might melt the packet, so I just have it in the kitchen. So these are just plain raisins, not the osmotic. I cannot stand the texture and the taste of the osmotic raisins or cranberry, so. I'm going to go ahead and open this blueberry turnover. Now this is from Bridgeford. Dan is in the house. Thanks for dropping in. Sorry I haven't been really looking at the chat. I've been concentrating on getting this thing going. And having some issues with my Samsung Galaxy S5 that I've had since 2014. That one decided to just quit working. I guess it gets too hot. So there is the blueberry turnover. Now on a cold day, that would probably taste good warm. I'm going to go ahead and open up these crisp breads. I'll be very careful because I will use half of these tonight, and then the other half I will save for another day. I'll put them in a Ziploc bag to keep them fresh. So a couple of these have busted, but that's okay. They're just going to kind of sit here with the raisins. So there, all that is done. And my main should be done, so I will get that and the cheese, and I'll be right back. Okay, I am back. I have the main, and I'm just going to dry it off. I'm just drying it off with a paper towel so it's not so slick to handle. And when I brought it in, I put the cheese packet underneath, so it's actually getting a little warmth. This is one of those pouches where the turnout goes across this way instead of this way. And that'll work out because I'm using my 30-plus-year-old Tupperware tray. This will be a bit messy, but I'm getting it out. There we go. I have moving these a little bit closer so they're a little bit more in view. So I have everything out here. I have my mashed potatoes here. And I'm ready for to enjoy my dinner. I'm going to take a taste of this little piece of the crisp bread first. These are very light and airy. They remind me much of the Wasa or Vasa crisp breads that I used to get years ago. And I haven't got any of those for myself for some time, but these remind me a lot of those. I think these are rye. Prepping Life, thanks for dropping in. I'm going to check the chat for a second, see who else is in here. See what I'm... Oh, I've only... I hope those who got booted out when I got booted out were able to come back in. I'm going to take some of this cheese and put it on here, just a little bit of it, see whether or not I like the combination. And I may put some of it on the spaghetti, so I'll just leave it there for the time being. But I think I'm going to go for a taste of this spaghetti, see how this is. Tastes just like canned spaghetti. The noodles are quite soft. Kind of expected that. You know, that's what you get when you get canned spaghetti. And just for the heck of it, I'm going to go ahead and put a little cheese on it. The cheese, the U.S. the Ration cheese spread is quite salty. So instead of using extra salt, you know, that cheese spread adds not only the cheese flavor, but it adds the extra salt flavor. So that helps a little bit. I'm going to take a taste of this cappuccino. Irish cream is there. It's not real strong, but it still tastes pretty good. Now I'm going to go for a taste of these Russian potatoes with garlic and onion. You can actually see the little bits of the extra ingredients that they put in there. In fact, there was some of these packets of the Russian instant potatoes that I used in my potato soup mix that I took to the Country Prepper Memorial Camp. So a combination of those and this other instant potatoes and a small amount of potato soup mix that I had, plus the other ingredients I threw in, that's what made up the potato soup that I served at the memorial camp. And then the rest of the mix that I brought home that I did not use, I just made it thick enough for mashed potatoes. Now I'm going to take a taste of this crisp bread with the cheese on it. Now the cheese flavor actually comes out more. And of course the crisp bread not being very salty, it takes up some of the salt flavor. I'm going to break this turnover in half. See all the blueberry filling in there. Tastes just like pie filling. And it counters the dryness of the bread. Although this bread is a little bit less dry, it's a little more moist than the regular snack breads or even the Italian breadsticks. But yeah, these turnovers are pretty good. Go for a taste of the apple drink. Yep, making it stronger, I get more of the apple flavor than if I would have used the full 500 mils of water. This thing probably holds maybe 300 at the most. Of course, I'm going to go back for more of this spaghetti. Yep, I think having the cheese on there would help. But I'm going to do a little, see, I'll just take, I'm going to put, grab a bite of the potato and then I'm going to squeeze some of the cheese on it. There's a potato with a little bit of the cheese. That works pretty well. It just adds a little bit more saltiness to the potato, although to me, I think they're fine the way they are. But yeah, cheese is always good on mashed potatoes. Of course, it's good on this too. So this is not bad. I think this is going to be an enjoyable dinner. These are a close-up of the raisins. Yep, it was pretty hot because I boiled it instead of using a ration heater. Raisins are quite soft. And they got the right flavor, the right sweetness. They're not the crappy osmotic ones, which I don't like. But if I get them in a ration, and that is what I have available to eat, of course I'll eat them because I'll get the nutrition from them. Now the nuggets of ground beef are probably about the size of a large pea, or maybe the size of a chickpea. There's one of them by itself. So this spaghetti is, it's not bad. It's, it's a good meal. In fact, I think I'm kind of glad that this is mashed potatoes and not borscht. I just didn't attempt to try to translate that, but that's okay. I like the Russian potatoes. And I think they added a good bit of extra flavor to my potato soup. So that's what you can do with the Ration instant potatoes. Add a few things to it and make it into a potato soup. And the people that ate it liked it. And I gave Robin some to take home. She put some in a bag, in a Ziploc bag, and then I bagged up the rest that we did not eat. That was out of one pot. And then the other pot, I just left it in there and brought it home that way. And so that has already been eaten up, so I ate all of that. So yep, that was a good time. And I only shot video on the first day. I did not shoot any video the rest of the time. I guess I just wanted to just enjoy the moment of being at a place that Jeremiah loved. Being with people who got to know him, quite a bit. Meeting his wife and daughter and his son by his stepson, and the guy who built the bench, and you see that in Tax video on AOK Foraging and Adventures. I do have a couple of pictures that I shot, and I'll post them up in the messenger chat for the others to see. They're not the best, but I think they just. I was setting my tripod up. I was going to try to shoot some video, but I guess I just shot pictures instead, or my phone did. But anyway, it was still a great camp, and I'm glad I was able to go. Yep, he will be missed by not only us here in Iowa, but around the country. All of his subscribers and viewers he had from all over the world. And I would like to go back there when the plaque gets placed onto that bench. That's okay. It had to, things had to go the way they go, and who knows, maybe another time. But we had good food. We had good time. Zach caught some nice keeper fish when he and Tack were down there before the rest of us got down there. But it was a good time, and so the money, the little bit of money that I raised from the sale of the Ranger beads, I gave that to Terry, and it wasn't much, but it was a little something that could help her out. She can get something that she and the little sprout needs. So I'm glad I was able to do my little bit. But the plaque that will go on that bench is done. It just has to wait to get placed. But it will get there. The video that I shot was basically just Robin and I getting our hammock set up, and next to Tack's hammock, and me having my privy set up and showing how windy it was. But yeah, things worked out the way they did. My tarp was too big to cover the space I was in between the two trees that I hung between, but it worked out perfectly for putting over Robin's hammock. So Robin borrowed my DD 4-meter square tarp. That's a little over 13 feet per side. And then Tack had an extra tarp, one of her Chill Gorilla tarps, so I used that. Foreignmre.com is in the house. Thanks for dropping in. I'm doing my first ration mashup. Got spaghetti, and this silver packet from a Russian ration that I thought was borscht is actually mashed potatoes, and that's really good. So I'm just basically describing how things went at the Country Prepper Memorial Camp last weekend. Although I got home early enough, I probably could have done a live stream. I just wanted to relax and basically see what had been done to my building and my apartment in particular while I was gone, because I had some plumbing work done. I got new faucets in my bathroom, on the sink, and in my shower. I got the hole for my bathroom plumbing access expanded, and the valves redone, so it just needs a new cover. And then that's pretty much it for my apartment, but there's been reno work all over the building. I'm just going to squirt some more of this on the potato just because I happen to like it. And I'll save the rest for the crisp bread. But yeah, that's Russian mashed potatoes. And so they're going to put a whole new floor in the hall. They're going to redo the steps and the stairwells. We have no functioning washer and dryer in our laundry room. That's all going to get redone. We're going to get new machines. I was hoping that they would be done by now, but not yet. So last week, I took a bus to a laundromat. And I posted on my Facebook, social distancing, clear across the room from the dryer that I have my clothes in. There are only a few people in that laundromat, and everybody pretty much spread out. Oh, this Irish cream cappuccino is sweet, and I like that. So the I wish there was just a tad bit more of the coffee flavor, but it is pretty good. It's pretty decent. And of course, I'll finish everything off. This blueberry turnover is pretty good. It's just like your typical pie filling. By the way, that $5 that you saw, that for an Anne-Marie drop, for those that have never been here or seen it before, that's called a super chat. And that allows a person to donate directly to my channel so that I can, use it to either bring items in to test, or to get a ration I might not be able to get otherwise, or to get something that will make my video production a little bit better. And I don't know if I will be able to, but I may go ahead and just check into getting my home internet restored, because right now I'm just using a hotspot. But I've had issues with 2 different providers here, but they're the only way I can go. I have no other choice, because my apartment faces north. I'm on the 2nd floor, so I can't have a dish. See, they're prepping life. He just dropped a super chat, so thank you very much for that. And you still owe me that cast iron pan, whatever it was. Oh, whatever. But also, if you're still interested in trying basmati rice, if you can't find it locally, next month I can get you a small bag and maybe mail it to you, or save it for the next time both of us get to meet up. So I could do that. I'm going to try to mix this. These potatoes have cooled off, so cheese might not mix in as well, but still going to do it anyway. Kind of spread it around. Get that flavor spread around a little bit. Yeah, so that's something that I could do if that's the way you want to go. But then I'll still look locally for cast iron too. I want to find one of those mini pans that I saw in a thrift store, but I didn't have the money at the time to buy it, so next time I was in there, it was gone. The spaghetti was all gone. Not too bad. Yep, I like this British apple drink mixed stronger than using 500 mils of water. And it's still mixed up pretty good. I'm just squirting more of this onto crisp bread. Yeah, I like these crisp breads, so I'm going to have to start getting these that I can find locally, the Wasa or Vasa brand, however you pronounce it. Is there a nice alternative to your typical crackers? And because they're so light, you could put any spread on it, really. There's some crisp breads that are more delicate, but these are a heartier brand. They're a heartier type. So, yeah, they're pretty good. I'll go for a few more of these raisins. What I'm going to be doing with these, I've got each meal bagged up. I just saw like I had this one. I'm just going to pick a bag, and that will be my dinner. Of course, when Ramadan starts, if I choose to do one of these, if I'm not able to go to the mosque every night for what we call a iftar dinner, where we break a fast then pray the sunset prayer and then eat dinner. So if I'm not able to do that at the mosque, because if restrictions are still in place on gatherings above 10 people, then I just may do I don't know what I'll do. I'll have to figure that out as the time comes. So I hope I don't have to spend Ramadan just by myself with the cat. But if that is what I got to do, then, I got video fodder. James Ortiz is in the house. I ate all the spaghetti. My main entree was from a U.S. ration spaghetti with meat sauce. And I put a little bit of the cheese on it. And I mix some of the cheese in with these Russian potatoes. I really like the garlic and onion flavor in these. Now, if you get mashed potatoes, prepared mashed potatoes in a U.S. ration, maybe garlic, but if you have the onion in there, I think that gives it just a little extra flavor. And this is where it's at. And as I said earlier, I used some packets of these Russian potatoes in my potato soup mix that I took to the memorial camp last weekend. I thought it would be an interesting way to go to give a little extra flavor. And it worked out. Blueberry turnover. Irish cream cappuccino. In my foreign MRE mug. And of course I had my foreign MRE spork. So I was describing how things went. Maybe I'll go ahead and upload that video that I did shoot at the memorial camp. I only shot the first day on Thursday. I didn't do any more recording after that. I should have, but I didn't. I still may go ahead and put that up and maybe just put in the description that I didn't shoot any other day. I just wanted to enjoy the place and the company of the people who were there, and got to meet quite a few of the Brahms family. And they brought us eggs, quite a few eggs, so fresh eggs, can't get any better than that. And just enjoy that place. And that now it has a special place in my heart next to a few other places where I have gone in the past with family. And I'm hoping that I can go back to Lake Icaria this summer. Hopefully, all the restrictions will be gone, and the campgrounds and the other places will open up, and we can just carry on with life. We've already got the reservation for cabins made, and we use the cabins because one of my sisters has to use a seat belt, and then getting sleeping on the ground is just no more an option for my mother. It's harder for me, but I'll still do it. But plus, it's just a lot more convenient for us to use the cabins, and with my dad's name on it. So that's one of the places you can go. You pay the county parks department. It's a county park and not a state park. So if you pay Alameda County a certain amount and you tell them what name you want, they will put it on a bench, and then that becomes a permanent memorial to that person. So because Lake Icaria was such a big part of my dad's life and our camping life when we were younger, we my mom had that done, and 2 years ago they had just refinished all of those benches, so they got a fresh coat of a sealer on it, or whatever they put on it to protect the wood. And you can sit on those benches, so go down there, fish near them. And now there is one at the pond on the Brahms property, and the plaque will be put on it later. Brenda was not able to join us at the camp because of some health issues that she's going through. But she is the one who does the cedar carving. I have two of her spoons. I have a spatula that I picked up from her at the meetup last October. And then she made this plaque for that bench that another guy built that is now on site. And so when things improve a bit for Brenda or whoever will bring it down, then it will be put on that bench, and that will replace an old camping chair that's been there and that's starting to fall apart. So that was very nice of the guy who built the bench, and so just a great thing for the family, for Terry and her daughter, and Jeremiah's stepson, and just everybody who knew them can will be able to see that whenever they go there. I'll probably go ahead and just upload that video later tonight, because I have it on the phone that I'm streaming on now. My one that I normally use just decided to not shut off, but shut itself down, where it just would not, the screen would just not come back on. But I've had that thing since 2014, so I'm glad I have this LG Phoenix 3 as a backup. The color on there is not as good as the Galaxy S5, but it's doing the job, and and it holds a battery charge a lot better. But I still plugged it into my power bank when I switched over from that one to this one. So is there anything you want to ask me about, or just chat about? While you're watching me eat my dinner. Ask me about how things are going here in Iowa as far as the big nasty going around. I will say that we had some good news in that we only had half as many new cases get reported today as was reported yesterday. And no new restrictions were put in place. Our governor says she does not have the authority under current Iowa law to issue a shelter in place or stay home order. But the way a lot of things are closed or suspended now, it's almost close to that. People are only or advised to only travel when necessary, and to just take extra precautions. I wear a mask and gloves when I go out, and I have wipes that I can use to wipe things down. And I will have to go shopping pretty soon to get some necessities, like I need to get some more cat litter because I used for myself at the camp the remainder of the litter that's in the bag that I have been putting in Mila's litter box. So I basically stole her cat litter, and the bag that I bought for my bucket, I decided to leave that at home because not very many people were doing it the way I was doing it at camps. And plus, I will keep that as my emergency supply. So I'm just going to go, among other things, I'll go get a bag of the type of litter that I normally use for Mila. But yeah, she was just meowing up a storm when I got in, and as I was getting my stuff put back up here. Yep, she definitely missed me. She just kept meowing and meowing. She was glad that I was back. No, we did not get to do any of that. For one thing, the wind that we had on Thursday, that messed up some of the targets. And so they had to be reworked. And because there's another round of rain coming in Sunday, what we ended up doing was we just packed up. We didn't even have breakfast at camp. We didn't even make coffee. Robin and I stopped at a Quick Trip. I got a coffee, and See, I think I got me. I just got a coffee at the Quick Trip, and we wanted to go in there to actually wash our hands with soap because all we had been doing was using hand sanitizer. But yeah, we wanted to get back home before the rain started, so we were going to put a few things in the distance, but it just didn't happen. But maybe next time, if I'm able to get there again, hopefully the range will be put back the way it's supposed to be, and some new things added for people to plink at. And of course, I probably wouldn't hit much anyway because I tend to put everything in the dirt real close, so I can't aim worth a flip. We were prepared to. We just didn't get to do it. Plus, the ground was still quite muddy. Yeah, the ground froze at night, but when the sun hit, like Friday, Saturday, and Sunday morning, walking up the trail out of the woods to get to where everybody had parked, your shoes ended up one muddy mess. And so it just didn't happen, but maybe another time. But did get to hear wildlife. Heard turkeys, Canada geese, blue jays, pheasants, coyotes, all kinds of other birds. Even the odd woodpecker. Of course, Thursday night was nothing but wind. And it was so hard to sleep. But I'll tell you, I really enjoyed sleeping in that hammock for the first time. After Thursday, of course. So I definitely want to try out my hammock in warmer weather when I don't have to have so much covering me, and I can test out my bug net. I had it there, I just didn't put it up because with the as windy as it would just made it difficult. But hopefully when the weather warms up and things get to somewhat normal, I'll be able to get a ride somewhere where I can try it out in the summer. And I'd like to actually use my DD tarp over it. I'd have to find trees that are far enough apart where I can string a tarp that's over 13 feet long. Or maybe eventually look into getting a slightly smaller one. I have a snug pack tarp, but I don't think it would be big enough to cover the full length of my hammock, because it's only like a 10 by 10 foot, and my hammock is 11 feet, I think. So I'll have to find a bigger tarp. I do like that DD tarp. That did, other than the stakes coming up from the wind, it really worked out for Robin. So and I told her what kind it was. She may get one of those for herself. She was jokingly offering to buy mine. I said, well, I told her about how much I paid for it. It's about 50 some bucks for that. I thought it was a good deal on that. So who knows what they are now, but I bought it on Amazon. DD is a brand out of UK, so they're more popular over there. But if you can get them, they're pretty versatile tarps because they have tie-outs all over them. Pretty soon I will do a video on some of the items that I took with me. Tell about how well they worked. How they reacted with the wind. And there were a couple items that I had wanted to try out, but I just ended up not testing those out. But I did use the light that I got off of Robin at the YouTuber meetup. I was teasing her about if that light looked familiar when I had it hanging on my tarp's ridge line. And I was teasing her about does this look familiar, because it was the one that I got off of her when we did the blanket trade at the meetup. So that thing worked out pretty well. And I took a flashlight that I had received for testing. So I used that, and I didn't shoot any video of it, but I still tried it out, and I showed some of the others. And in fact, here's a companion. I will do a video on some of these. And so I received a pack of 2 of these, so I took one of these. This is the one that stayed here, that I've been messing around with here. So yeah, I'll start doing videos on some of these things that I have been testing, that has been sent to me. I've been contacted by some company reps to test items, and I tell them, well, I don't have certain things that I would not be able to test, or I would not have a use for, but some of these other things I could use and I could try out. So yeah, so I've been doing some of that, and this is one of them. And Dub C is in the house. Thanks for dropping in. I was just holding up the companion to a light that I took to the memorial camp last weekend that I tested out, and I was showing some of the others who were there. They thought that was pretty cool. And I only shot video one day, but yeah, memorial camp that I was at last weekend, which is why I didn't do a live stream last Sunday, even though I got here pretty early in the afternoon. I could have, but I had already said that I don't know what time I'll be getting back, and I would just want to chill and relax, spend some time with the cat, after I got back. And so I was on here. I just didn't do any live streaming at all last Sunday, but and of course this Sunday is the first of the mashups. And I had spaghetti, so that's where the spaghetti was. And in this bowl, I had something from a Russian ration that I thought was borscht, but I didn't try to translate it because me and the Google Translate and packages don't get along very well. But anyway, it turned out to be mashed potatoes, which I think was actually a better combination with the spaghetti than the borscht. But Anyway, it still worked out. And of course, I got, this is a crisp bread. It's a rye crisp bread. Blueberry turnover. And just raisins. This is the apple energy drink from a British Ration. And I didn't use the full 500 mils of water. I made it strong so I can actually get the apple flavor. Otherwise, it would be just barely there. And this is the cappuccino, the Irish cream cappuccino. Could have used just a little bit more coffee flavor, but it's still good. And of course, I had a cheese spread. I still have some left in here. I'll put it on another one of these crisp breads. It's quite firm right now, so it's not going to spread much, but that's okay. I'm just going to squeeze it out. Yep, I got a whole bunch of these mashup bags all ready to go. I just have to pick one. I'll just pick them at random. That's what I'm doing. And that will be my supper for Sunday. Now, as I said earlier, when Ramadan comes, I don't know if I will be having dinner at the mosque, because we haven't even had any kind of congregational prayers or activities as of last Friday when I was gone. So I don't know how long this is going to last, where houses of worship are remaining closed here in Iowa and elsewhere. Is that for where you're at, Dubsy? They extended these restrictions? I don't know what has been extended as far as restrictions and closures here in Iowa, because I did not hear any of that mentioned in the governor's presser today when I listened to a replay of that. Yeah, it could be. I know some things have been extended out to the middle of April here, but considering yesterday we had 64 new cases and today was 30 some, that's good news that only half as many new cases, but we also had one more death. We had one person die last night from the big nasty. Yeah, so maybe that could be nationwide. I guess we'll just have to see how things go. But because I have so many of these mashup bags made up, if for some reason we cannot eat and pray together at the mosque during Ramadan, or at least part of it, after the time for me to break my fast has come, then I can go ahead and do a later live stream. Or I could just simply shoot the video and upload it. But I think the live stream is more fun. Yes, these are. I used to, as I said earlier, I used to buy a brand called Wasa, W-A-S-A. And they make different flavors, different varieties. it had been so long since I bought those that when I had a chance to get these off of one of the ration sites, I went ahead and jumped at the chance to get it. Now, I only took 3 of them out. There's 3 more in the pack. I'll put those in a Ziploc bag to keep them fresh, and then those will make an appearance in another Mashup video. But these are a rye one, I think. But these are very good. I really enjoy these. But if you look for the Vasa or Wasa brand, at least that's the one that I'm familiar with here, because that's what I've seen here in Iowa. I'm sure there are other brands out there, but they make a great quality crisp bread. But these would be good with, you could put anything on these. You know, you could put like luncheon meats on them, like so if you have a pate, or if you like Spam, you put a piece of that on there, or you can put jam or jelly, or like Russian apple butter. That might actually be good on one of these. But yeah, if you get different flavors of these, you probably use them as croutons in soup. So yeah, these are definitely a few steps up above normal crackers. They're even a step above, as far as texture goes, above the Triscuits. I like those, but these I think are so much better than those that I definitely want to start buying more of these again. This apple turnover is a Bridgeford, just came out of a British ration. Or not apple, but it's blueberry. Guess I have the apple drink, so got apple on the brain. But typical blueberry pie filling. It definitely, although the bread itself is a little dry, especially around the edge, it's nowhere near as dry as the regular wheat snack bread or even in Italian breadsticks that come in the rations. But the filling definitely helps that out. And I'm sure if someone wanted to, they could warm this up. And that would bring out the flavor a little bit more. Maybe make some of the filling get more into the bread to moisten it up, but these are still pretty good. And before, while I was setting up to go live myself, I was watching Mickey Joe do a Z ration from allmres.com, And that one is one of those that had two mains in it. So he and his wife busted into that, and I watched that as I was getting set up for this. Of course, when you go to the video list, my video library on my page, you're going to see actually two videos with the same title, because I started out on my old Galaxy S5, which I normally use for streaming and video shooting, but then it just decided to seize up on me, and I couldn't get it to revive itself. It didn't shut completely off. It just didn't want to do anything. So I grabbed my LG Phoenix 3, which is what I'm on now, and so that's what I'm streaming on now. And I don't know, maybe I'll have to use this one for my streaming, even though I don't like the color that shows up on it. I guess maybe it's because I'm used to the how the color renders on the Galaxy, but I'm glad I have this second smartphone that I can use as a backup, because right now I still don't have a home internet. I'm going to try to get that next month. I don't know if I will be able to, because right now when I go on Wi-Fi, I'm using a hotspot. So at least I have that. So, and in some past videos, you've heard some extraneous noises from outside of my apartment, either outside or in the hall. That is from all the remodeling work that's going on. They do it even on the weekends, so they weren't so loud tonight. Earlier in the day, it was pretty loud, but that was before way before I started my stream. But since that will still be going on for probably the rest of this month, I'm assuming by the way the progress is, if you hear any extra noises that sound like construction or demolition, that's what's going on. They're remodeling any apartments that got vacated recently. They're getting a full gut job and redo. They're going to put new floors down in the halls. They're upgrading the laundry rooms. So earlier, last week when I needed to do some laundry, Thursday, I went to a laundromat to do a load. And there are only a few people in there, so I picked a good time to go to that particular laundromat. And everybody was, those that were not related to each other, they're keeping their distance. And there's a mama and a couple of kids, and then there's another couple, and then just another person by herself, and then me. So, we just did our laundry and left when we got done. And then after I got done with my laundry, since I was near a Walgreens, I went over there to check out to see what was there. And that particular Walgreens had some rear rolls, had like Puffs tissues, Walgreens brand, not a full inventory of Kleenex or similar brands, but they had paper towels, they had some cleaners, and they had some wipes, but no sanitizer. But I could have got myself some rear roll, but instead I got the last can of Morton salt that was on the shelf, because I wanted to have more salt. I'm good on the rear roll, so I don't need to buy any for, I could go almost 3 months without buying any of that. But so I got a can of salt. I figured, I'll use that eventually, or I'll repack at the store for long-term storage. But the cashiers in there and the other staff were all wearing gloves. I saw one person in there wearing a mask, one customer, and then I had a mask on. And then I had, over that, I have what Muslims call a niqab, which is a face veil that some Muslim women wear. So I had that on over my mask. So since I was just using those the inexpensive mask, I'm holding on to my the few N95s that I have. So I double it up that way. But yeah, I'm taking the precautions. And here in city buses, as in other places, I'm sure they're doing it. I know they are up in London, Ontario. Passengers who can get in the bus through the back door, they're told to get in through the back door, and they're not even bothering with collecting fares or scanning passes. So the bus driver is just hitting a button on their keypad when someone gets in. And of course, a person in a wheelchair or using a scooter would go in the front door. But other than that, that's worked out pretty well. Bus traffic, run times have also reduced. That's one of the restrictions here, as I'm sure is elsewhere. Only travel when necessary, pretty much. So, but later this week, I do have to get out, and I gotta go get some stuff. So I'll just do what I've done the past few times I've gone out. Cover my face, cover my paws. Use wipes and just do what I need to do, and then get back outside to the bus stop. And also, when the mailman comes, I wait till the mailman is gone before going down to the mailbox to get my mail. And as far as deliveries, delivery drivers, whether it be UPS, FedEx, DHL, or Postal Service, they're not taking signatures for packages. So if you notice that, where you used to be required to sign for the delivery, they're not taking signatures. They're just logging in that the package has been delivered and leaving it at that. And instead of taking my chicken scratch. So that's another change. I don't know if any of you have noticed that, but I have. Because I have had issues with package theft here before our doors got secured in this building. I had tried to get signature requirements on all deliveries, but sometimes that didn't always happen. But while the big nasty is going around, I just have to hope that if a package is left, if a delivery person gets into the building and leaves it, I just have to hope that no one takes it. But is there anything else that anyone wants to chat about or ask me or anything else like that? As Otherwise, I'm probably just going to go ahead and call this one good. And I'll just finish nibbling these off and finish my drinks and let the YouTube process this. So so next Sunday will be another random bag. I have quite a few of them to pick from. I can just grab one and put it on a tray. So I hope that people enjoy these mashups. I want to do it again because I thought it was so much fun last year doing it. That's why I want to do it again. So but for those two, Foreign Emery and Prepping Life, dropping the super chats, I do thank you for those. But if there isn't anything else that anyone wants to chat about, then I'm going to go ahead and call this one done and hand it off to YouTube to process it. And sometime this week, I'll do a gear discussion video. It's something I did not do after the YouTuber meetup that I had wanted to do, but I can still talk about those things too. So, but yeah, I do want to do a gear discussion video about how things performed, and whether or not that they were good things to buy, since because I live on a limited budget, I have to get stuff on the cheap. But if I can get something that's not too expensive but still quality, then like that DD tarp, that worked really well. And so yeah, I'll do that later on this week sometime. But anyway, for now, I'm going to go ahead and hand this off to YouTube. Again, thanks for dropping in and joining me for dinner. So again, these mashups will continue for a few weeks. And who knows what will be on the tray next week. Thanks for watching, and catch you on the flip side.